Hey there! I know it's been a minute, but I hope you're doing well, and I really appreciate you being very, very patient with me. I know things are looking a little different. For the past several weeks, my husband and I have been doing some very extensive bathroom renovations, so the paint color's changed, everything in here has changed. So bear with me as I figure out the new setup. I have a new light that's on the top of my camera, and I'm trying to figure out what's gonna not glare off my glasses, but moving on forward, I want to be doing more get ready with me's and more like showing makeup, because I'm really kind of going through my makeup and figuring out what I want to do with it. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the Pan That Palette update. I want to hear your feedback on what you would like to see me do in terms of Pan That Palette next year. You know, I like the idea of doing a static palette, but I also like the idea of jumping around. I'm in the process of allowing my hair to go gray, and so my preferences are shifting. And you know, if I do jump around, I wouldn't want to do like necessarily a traditional pan those eyeshadows challenge and do like a roulette style, because I'm trying to figure out what's going to work as my hair changes, as my skin tone kind of evolves, excuse me, with that process. So like I said, I'm curious to hear your feedback, so because that's the ultimate goal. You know, is just finishing out some eyeshadow. I don't care how it gets done. The goal is to keep moving forward and figure out what works and what not. And I'm wearing the exact same eye look that I've been wearing for the past few months. I consider this a very seasonless burgundy neutral eyeshadow look. So if you're interested in something that is more autumnal, I will link the Get Ready With Me I made in the card above, as well as the description box below. The only thing that I changed is just the lip color. And if you're curious about this combination, I pulled out my MAC lip pencil in the shade Auburn. This has been in my collection for quite some time, and so I wanted to get some use out of it. Excuse me. It's just a really, it's a warmer brick red, but it's actually more flattering on multiple skin tones than you might initially think. So if you have a skin tone that is much deeper than mine, or even if you are fairer than me, it is a great tone to make your teeth look whiter and brighter, but still give kind of that fall orangey, warm vibe to your look if that's what you're going for and you don't necessarily want to go with a traditional red. Then I topped it with an old favorite. I just have the modern packaging rendition of this lipstick. It is the Wet n Wild. The shade is Cinnamon Spice, and the packaging is their new, it has the rose gold lips on it and then the clear lid on the top. So when you have it stored in your makeup collection, you can see the shade. It's a great, great shade. I love to reach for this, particularly between about September and November. Is my favorite time. And so now getting into Pan That Palette. Some weeks I'm super motivated to wear makeup and I want to move stuff out, and then other weeks I'm just like, I'm really happy with the progress I've made, but it's also like the realization has hit me that now we're in September, and normally this would be my 9th update with a palette, and of course there'd be substantial changes by this point, and I'm just kind of feeling like I haven't had that same momentum this year. I don't know, I guess that's why I'm kind of up in the air in terms of what to do next year. Like, I have a little bit of an idea, but at the same time, I'm curious where you're kind of thinking with your own eyeshadow and stuff too. And let's start off with MAC's Soft Brown. So I'll put a picture right here of where I was the last update. I don't have anything new to say about the shade, so here we go. This is where I am with Soft Brown. All I have is the last little bit of ring around the pan. I'm honestly hoping that I can finish the shadow by let's put a goal out there, by the end of October. But MAC shades are quite dense, and so it takes a very, very long time. Then, kind of moving on, I will also insert a picture over here of what I'm into it looked like, which is this beautiful burgundy shade right here. And I love using this in my crease. I apply it with a fluffy Morphe crease brush. And so there is a slightest bit of a dip that you can see in the shadow. Am I going to be able to finish this by December? Absolutely not. Am I going to be able to hit pan? Probably not either, but I am enjoying it, and it's one of those shades that it's warm enough that I'm still loving it, but at the same time, now that my hair is starting to get more gray, filling in the front, I want to get the use out of it while I can, because I'm kind of getting to the point where it's looking a little bit awkward to go with super warm looks, and so I'm trying to enjoy this while I can. And so that little divot that you see in the very, very center is kind of where I've been focusing my eyeliner brush from e.l.f. I stamp it into the shadow and then use it to apply to my lower lash lines. So that's where I'm going with these two shades. Since I've committed to a blush, I've committed to a bronzer, this particular eyeshadow works really, really well with those. And I've been working on my MAC Semi-Sweet x9 palette. I put out the goal in front of myself. I wanted to finish that taupey brown shade in the bottom row that I have been using as my eyebrow shade, and I have managed to do that. This is where I currently am with this palette. That is the only shadow that I finished with, but that was a satisfying day, and I'll show you what I've moved into next. The other surprising accomplishment that I'm feeling right now is being able to hit pan in this beautiful matte peach shade in the top row. I love wearing this all over my eyelid. It is a beautiful, easy, it's not too warm, but it's not too cool. It's definitely a neutral shade of peach. It is stunning to wear on a daily basis, so that's been a lot of fun. I'm very, very slowly making progress in the matte black down in the corner. Use it to set a liner on my upper lash line. And the other shade that I've really been working diligently on is this very subtle mauve shade over here. I haven't really made a dip despite using it on an everyday basis. There's a slight dip, but I don't know if it's going to translate on camera or not. But I love running this. I mix it with my Clinique Cheek Pop and Colourpop, and I run it through my transition area just to kind of add some warmth. I know I've talked about that in other videos, but it has given me another use for the shadow, because otherwise at this point I'm not really getting a whole lot of color payoff. But as my hair gets lighter in the front, I know that I'm gonna really, really enjoy more cool toned shadows like this one. It's a nice contrast to the rest of the warm shadows that are in this palette. Now, looking into the rest of the year, I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of this mustard shade, which again is why I wanted to talk to you about what you'd be thinking about wanting to see me pan for next year. Because, I mean, if this had been a year other than having a pandemic and having life be dramatically different from what we're used to, I think I easily could have finished this palette in a year. But as it stands right now, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to try it out maybe after I finish soft brown to see if I like it as a transition shade. But we'll see how it looks with my hair, and I'll keep you posted on that. The shade that I have moved into filling my eyebrows comes out of my MAC in the Flesh palette. It's just an easy everyday, kind of a cooler tone palette. If you have this in your collection, since cooler tones are becoming a little bit more popular, I've been going through with this taupey brown in the bottom row. It's just an easy, kind of a cooler toned taupe espresso brown. It actually works quite well in my eyebrows. It is what I'm wearing currently. And then it was literally the exact same dupe as the shade that came out of this palette. So that was a nice find. So I've been working in my MAC Warm Neutrals palette. This is where I currently am. I've only been focusing on two shades at the moment. The first one being this kind of a, how do I describe this? It's like a glowy highlighting shade. There's not a lot of shimmer to it. It's playing like a matte shadow, but there's like I said, a subtle glow to it. It's really pretty. I love to stamp it in my inner corner and use it on my brow bone, and then I amp it up with MAC Soft and Gentle in my inner corner. I'm getting to where I have the slightest little bit of a dip in there, so that is really satisfying. And then the other shade that I've been working very diligently on is the matte espresso brown up here in the corner. I stamp it in with a Real Techniques, what do you call it? It's like a round crease brush, and I just stamp it into the outer corner of my eye. It works really, really well. It's super intense, but flattering. And it also works super well as a liner as well if I want to do a really intense smoky espresso kind of a vibe. So that's where I am with that. And I'm also kind of thinking if the mustardy shade is too warm in the Semi-Sweet x9 palette, I'm thinking about going into the warm brown out of this palette when I finish soft brown if I want something a little bit more flattering. And because in person there isn't much here, but oh, there you go. On camera you can see it a little bit better, but it's just very subtle. Might be easy. It's another way to get some more warm brown out of my collection. And that kind of wraps it up. Like I said, I'm very curious to hear your feedback in the comments below. So let me know kind of how you're feeling towards your makeup, what you're thinking of panning, what you'd like to see me pan. My bathroom's finished. I have a place to film again. I have a place to, you know, sit down and do makeup. I'm figuring out the lights. So I have a couple videos to be out on the lookout for. I will be filming a panning through the pandemic update where I am. I'm so late. Oh my gosh, Claire, I'm so sorry, but I'm also jumping into another project pan that actually ends in November. So I need to get that intro about finishing off some favorites, and it's just because it's been crazy. Like, I haven't had a place to film. And also I'm going to be doing that dedicated video talking about where I am with my makeup, my attitude towards my makeup, how that's going to evolve. And I know there is tremendous curiosity on my makeup collection and what's made the cut, and what I've gotten rid of and what I've purchased to supplement. So I'm debating about, you know, how I want to kind of proceed with that too. So maybe there will be a collection video coming soon. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. So, because I have a lot of ideas that I want to film, and also a vanity tour because things have changed there. So, because like I said, I'm figuring everything out, but I do have a little bit more time that I can, you know, have some fun here getting to chat with you about makeup. So until next time, take care, enjoy your day, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. See you later.